WRN.FM, the kindly old neighbor on the corner, some random jerk who just cut me off on I-80, the entire Broadway cast of Hair, Bruce Rauner or Pat Quinn, or the Martian Invaders. So there.
We'd like to invite you and all the members of your household
to gather around and join us now
for a very special episode of
Side Project Live. And what's so special about it?
I'm not wearing any pants.
You know who likes special entertainment like that? My mom!
And welcome once again, friends and neighbors, to another action-packed, side-splitting, laugh-a-minute, blah, 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 you know the drill now, episode of Side Project Live. Once again, from high atop the Side Project Pyramid we've upgraded is Jimmy G.
Yeah, from the meat storage. Man, it's cold in this basement in Lockport, Illinois. It's Eric Ferguson.
And we are actually in the process of trying to get our guest in here, just having a few little last-minute technical situations, but if it weren't for last-minute technical situations, we wouldn't be our show. So,
as cool as this is, if you've not done it before, it is a little weird.
Yeah, it's when you do it live, when you're doing a recorded podcast, it's one thing because you've got time on your side, and you can arrange things, and if somebody doesn't get connected right away, you can always adjust it a bit. But sure, if you are doing it live, you're on a time constraint, and you're trying to rush, and there's less margin for error when you're doing a live show. And as me and Eric both worked in radio, we can attest to that being a fact.
Absolutely. And the technology we use, it is what it is. And if we bring a guest on like ours today, and he's not familiar with this stuff, we're trying to teach him how to do the things us lay people do when they just don't,
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily that he's not familiar with it.
I don't know either. I don't know.
There's a bit of a learning curve for all involved because with you've got the different platforms and all of that. I can't get him going here.
We're like, hey, you go here and you click there. It's like, well, I don't have that. Well, why not? Well, because I'm on a Windows phone and it doesn't work. Oh, so yeah, you're in the 3% that this stuff isn't supported by. It just
could be worse. They could be calling from a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
But okay. So let me see what we can do here.
What is the worst fraternity on this campus?
Oh, dude! All of my sound effects are gone off of my soundboard. Oh crap! I have to.
My lower thirds still don't work, and I spend some time using Google products to search for that.
Have you ever figured out why that's not working?
Nope. And I've been browsing around, and apparently it's a problem that just happens. And it happens to some people at some time, and it doesn't matter which version of the browser you use. I thought maybe Google was being a jerk and taking those features away from Firefox to try to force you to go to Chrome. No, it happens to Chrome users too. And it's been out there posed as questions for 2 years now, and so far there's no solutions. It just, oops.
Right. Right. It's that's the problem with technology is that everybody's got their own way of doing things, and it's not necessarily a bad thing because some ways are better than others, but it's trying to make things interconnected. That's the issue.
Oh.
And somebody's calling me.
I hear a call.
I do. But I'm not seeing it.
But there's no way to go through life, son.
Is it ringing on your phone and not your desktop?
It was not ringing on my desktop.
It was, and it went away.
Yeah, but I didn't see any sort of a pop-up. Let's try this again. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, you know what? That was on my Google Plus page. That's where it's coming from. Okay. Is there a way I can add him from here?
On your Google Plus, just add them to your
Yeah.
circle. Yeah, you should be able to just add them to your
He
circle.
is in my circle. That's the thing. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta get rid of that. No, that's not what I gotta get rid of. That's what I gotta get rid of.
What kind of music do you usually have here?
Oh, we got both kinds. We got country and western.
Let's see. Yes, this is radio about radio or podcasting about podcasting.
Yeah, we actually were talking about having a backup plan and do things in case our guest couldn't get on, and we know now that he's trying to join, so we've just kind of stopped.
Okay, I'm gonna try something different here because I know he's, and I'm gonna try both his email address and his.
Here you go.
Oh, please don't kill it!
Please don't kill us.
Well, this is interesting. He's not coming up unless. Aha! Okay, I am sending him the invite to the correct.
Yep, and this stuff works really pretty nicely on the desktop. When you try to do it with a phone, it's hit or miss.
Yeah. Although we've had some success with that. We've had, hey, Trace is viewing the show. Oh dear Lord, and I work in tech. That's the that's the pisser here.
You got the X-Country hat on.
Yeah.
Know that station.
Okay. All right. Now he's opening up a separate Google Hangout. Why isn't he not getting the invite? Maybe he can't do the.
I don't know. Like I said, it's hard for me to troubleshoot that because I don't do Hangouts on iOS, so I don't know. I know you can join Hangout. You might not be able to start one, and I can tell them where the invite box is, and you can look at your invites, but I don't know if it works the same way on iOS. I imagine it's similar.
I wonder if it has to do with his iPhone. The fact that he's doing it from an iPhone.
Well, that's my point.
Double check that.
I don't know how it functions on iOS exactly. And that's the tricky part. Sometimes you need specific instructions to make this work.
I got a bad feeling about this.
In the meantime,
Looks like it shouldn't be a problem. Huh.
in the meantime, we have viewers going, "Come on, you guys!"
Yeah. Radio about or podcasting about podcasting here.
I got it! He's got it!
You better have it, or you'll get it.
Okay.
I got up this early for this.
If he can't get the invite here, I'm gonna just have him go to a laptop and just we'll try out the hotel Wi-Fi. Worst case scenario, if we go along on Radio Fubar, we will
If you're trying
go
to do,
longer on the Hangout.
yeah, because if you try to do this on 4G, our experience has been it's not a good idea. You can boast about how great you think your 4G service is. I got news for you, pal. It's not nearly as good as you think it is. I don't care who you're.
Not at all.
Oh, I got Verizon because that AT&T sucks. I got news for you, pal. The Verizon one sucks too. Trust me. And so on, and so on, and so on. I'm not picking on those two. No, it's not. You know, you get little burst speeds and all kinds of things, and the coverage works great, and then it doesn't work great, and yeah, it's
Worst case scenario, we could always see if we can reschedule him, but we do have somebody who is interested in following up with us on our last show about student loans. It's my soon-to-be brother-in-law. He actually works in finance for a college up in DeKalb, Illinois. Okay, all right. He's trying to get on the hotel Wi-Fi with the laptop at this point. So we got that. We got him coming up. I have to talk to him though about. I have to talk to him about when he would be able to come on, because in his message on Facebook, was it on Facebook? I can't remember, private message or to the show invite, that he was like, had to turn the show off after 20 minutes because of the ignorance. And he actually revealed a couple of things to me that I really totally was ignorant about, and I'd kind of like to talk to him about a little further. And I did not know this, that college accreditation, to be accredited, maintain your accrediting, you have to, it depends on your number of student loans that are getting paid off.
sure.
And I had no idea about that.
Sure.
And I just thought that was weird. It's an angle that I had not thought of.
You know, it's
And I
interesting.
kind of wonder why that is, and he would be more in the position to answer that than we would.
That's an interesting thing that we really went to the people on this side of the walls of the college, what happens to us, but not necessarily what happens to the inside. So I'm sure that this system, in at least some aspect, is damaging to them as well.
And we just got a message from Trace. He can hear us, so that's good. He's, I guess his computer's installing the Hangout software right now, so it'll hopefully just be another moment or two. But
You're fired! But I didn't. Get out!
man, I can't believe I got rid of all my sound effects off of my my soundboard, except for and. One of my favorite arcade games, Dig Dug, and I was just realizing recently that back in the day when I was into the arcade scene, while I was a huge fan of Atari, you know, Tempest and Asteroids and all that, a couple of my most favorite games were actually from Namco, like Dig Dug and Xevious, and they were both, you know, in the United States under Atari, but they were Namco games that were licensed to Atari to be distributed here in the States. And I did not know this, but Atari did the same thing overseas. In their European division, they licensed the game Time Pilot for European distribution. Time Pilot, a Konami game, and in the United States it was under Konami. And Atari actually was the European distributor of Dragon's Lair. I did not know that. You learn something new every day.
Wow.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
You're an idiot. I sincerely hope you do not represent the future of this country, because if you do, we are in sad shape.
I'll tell you what, that boy's not right. Ah! I need to work on my impersonation repertoire.
Supply of this stuff.
Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Yeah.
Whoa!
You know what I just realized is that all of the impersonations I can do are on cartoon characters, and very few of them are actual celebrities or real people. They're all fictional characters. Like everyone's heard my Freddy Krueger, but that one's really not too hard for anyone to do. But I mean, I'm Beavis and Butthead, and okay, okay. Let's see here. I don't think this is going to go because we got the hang up going on the other side. Yeah.
I got the thumbs up from Crystal, who might be watching. I don't know.
Okay.
I got a lot of mess in my inbox. I have to pay bills today. I
Bills,
gotta figure out how
don't
to,
remind me.
yeah, I got to figure out how to pay healthcare.gov too. transfer the call.
Well, the thing is if I answer that one, it's taking me into a new Hangout, and it's wanting to end this one.
Oh. Well, that's a problem.
If we do that, that breaks the link to the show.
Yeah.
And it's not something I want to do.
Just join. Especially if he's on the desktop now.
Well, this is fun. There was a, gosh, I'm thinking back to a Monty Python bit where Graham Chapman was like the host of a show, and he's like, "Well, that was fun, wasn't it?" And then a Viking comes on and goes, "No, it isn't, you fairy!" And Graham Chapman's like, "Ooh, I've killed him."
Oh, he's trying to start a new one.
Yeah. Oh boy.
He's on the desktop now. So if he just goes to his Hangouts, you should see a little box with video Hangouts.
Right.
Of calls that are ongoing, and there's a little button there that says join, and you click that, and off it goes.
You know what? Somebody's going to have to... We're going to have to write up a document or something on this, because this is not the first time this sort of thing has happened, unfortunately. And as soon as we think we've learned everything about it, it turns out we've not learned anything.
Or like the lower thirds, it doesn't work, and there's no reason why.
I still don't know why that's not happening why that's not working with yours.
Any of the overlays, the custom overlay, the effects box and stuff that it has, none of it works.
So what? Let me see. I think. Let's see. Let's see here.
This is all wrong. I don't know what it is.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. If we can't get this going, what we'll do is we'll see if we can't reschedule it and maybe walk through it, or if we can get them on in a few minutes, we will get them and see if maybe we can go a little bit over. But if we do go over, we will not be going over on Radio Fubar. We will be going over strictly on the Google Hangout. So for those of you who are interested in that, the side project, we've got a YouTube channel. You can watch from there, and circle us on Google Plus. So let's see what we got here. Oh, he had to download Chrome. Okay, he didn't have it.
You shouldn't. It'll work in Firefox. He's probably got a MacBook.
You know what? That's probably what it is.
Probably has a MacBook.
Yep. See, that's the thing about not being an Apple person. It's like this whole mysterious like wilderness that you got out there. And I actually went to college with someone who had a Mac. The first time I saw it, I saw one button. I'm like, the hell is this? so yeah, I am not familiar with Macs, and I probably should be.
Don't know how Hangouts works on Safari.
Right. Yeah, I don't either. But he is installing Chrome, and we got the play-by-play going here. And
I'm just reading about it. Yeah, apparently it does. It's supposed to work, but I can't help him with it because I'm not familiar with it enough.
Yeah. You know what? Let me see what I can find out.
Yeah, Safari is supported, and it does work on OS X. So he should not have had to downloaded Chrome.
Server closed this connection. His hotel Wi-Fi is crap. Oh boy.
Boo.
I don't know why he's not getting the invite on his phone.
I don't know.
Let's see. Sadly, so far, this is one of the most interesting episodes we've ever had. Let's see here. Hangouts, invites, and settings on iOS. Let's see what we got here in Google support.
It even supports the browsers under Linux. You can use Debian-based Linux distros.
Yeah, I actually had that. I'm using Chrome on Linux, and I had very much success using Hangouts on Air on that. But Chrome is actually a derivative of the Chromium browser, which was a Linux standard. Let me see here. Invites will be at the top of the conversation list until you respond. Invites that could be spam will be put in a folder in the invites section in settings. Ah, okay. I wonder if maybe our invites are getting put into a spam folder on his iOS. You can respond to the invite in two ways. If you accept the invite, after accepting the invite, you'll also see them in your contacts list, and they'll see your status. If you don't want to be notified, hang up, blah, 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 blah. I wonder if that might be the issue. Okay, he's trying again here. All right, I'm going to apologize to all of our listeners about this, and I apologize especially to Trace about this. When you're using like a computer or something, and it's what you're familiar with, you get into the mindset of that, being, well, everybody's got to use that because, of course, we are a homogeneous species, and nobody is an individual. We're all using the same thing. So, and all of these problems would have gone away if we would just still be using the Atari ST line of computers. So,
Amiga.
Hey now.
Use the Amiga, we wouldn't have these problems.
No, you just get the guru meditations.
That's right. Well, once
yeah, Amigas had the guru meditations. The Atari ST line had the bombs.
Yeah.
And the guru meditations at least gave you some sort of information, but the bombs, just like on the Atari, really told you nothing.
Yeah, it told you why it failed. I love that old computer. It's a shame that that company went through so much nonsense and fell apart.
You know what's fascinating about that? The Amiga was actually an Atari computer, and the Atari ST was actually a Commodore computer.
Developers and some of the components, yeah, there was interesting stuff going on there.
Yeah, it was an interesting history because the guys who made the Amiga actually worked for Atari, and Atari, I think, was actually going to put it into production, but what happened was that then Atari kind of was like going bankrupt, and they got bought out by the Commodore people, and the Commodore people, can't remember their names, didn't want to do anything with it, so they sold them off to Commodore at that point, and then the Commodore guy who was in charge of Atari at that point decided to do his own. Hey, finally, we are connected. Welcome everybody to our special guest today, Trace Beaulieu. You might know him from such TV shows as Mystery Science Theater 3000, writer for, I believe it was America's Funniest Home Videos, Cinematic Titanic, and Wikipedia is my friend. I actually looked a lot of this stuff up.
See if we can get. It takes a minute for these things to connect, so we can get some sound from them.
That's true.
Are we there, Trace?
I was looking at his. I was in doing some research for the show. Yes, I did research for once. I saw this picture that we're seeing right now on the Hangout crop up. Would he or would he not be an excellent choice to star in a remake of the movie National Lampoon's Vacation?
Oh. I don't know why
that was the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this picture.
It's an interesting thought.
I hope they never remake it.
Are we hearing him?
We there?
Hello.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Got a connection. Welcome.
I don't see you. Do you see me?
No, I just see your picture.
That's like me, only very slow. Sorry about this, guys. This is all kind of this technology, I guess, is not quite here yet.
Yeah, well, we are not people that deal with Macs or iOS on a regular basis. Even though my wife has an iPhone, I constantly call my wife a hipster because of that. But but then again, I am a slave to Android. But but you know, hey, at the very least, we've got you on, and we can hear your voice, and we can see your picture. So welcome.
Yeah, he is muted. Why is he muted?
Muted? He's not muted on my side.
There he is. Now he's unmuted.
Can you hear us? Boy. Some days I'm beginning to think the Luddites were right. Oh, and he dropped.
Oh, and he went away.
Oh, dang it. All right, we'll send another invite. But we weren't lying. He was on the show.
That's right.
And you did hear him. Okay.
Oh, man. I'm telling you.
You know, as long as we're here, let's
Comes.
look up what the Luddites were all about.
Yeah, here he comes again.
Do we look like the two dumbest guys in the world to you?
Oh, wait a minute. I think we're getting a camera. No, just this picture. But you know what? There are much worse things we could be looking at. Gallagher, for instance, or us. Oh boy, do you hear us, Trace? No, that's right. You said it takes a moment or two for the connection to be finalized. So
there, now he's muted again. I wonder if he's doing that to himself.
The Luddites were 19th century English textile artisans who protested against newly developed labor-replacing machinery from 1811 to 1817. The stocking frames, spinning frames, and power looms introduced during the Industrial Revolution threatened to replace the artisans with less skilled, low-wage laborers, leaving them without work.
There he is. We can see you. Not real well, but we can see you. And your microphone is muted, so you have to unmute yourself.
How about now?
There we go.
Hey.
Holy cow.
And guess what?
I think we've got a connection. So, you're in a hotel. So, you hitting a convention? Or
I'm in a hotel. I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see across the street. See the beautiful convention center?
Okay.
And the people, those people are lined up waiting to get in. Thing starts in like a half hour.
Oh, 30 minutes? Okay.
Yeah. I was hoping to take you with me on the phone, and we could just walk over there.
Oh, far
out.
Oh,
that would be awesome.
But the phone seems to be bust. I don't know why. I had a great conversation yesterday, but the whole content of the conversation was, did you get yours to work? No, I couldn't get mine to work. Is yours working? Mine's not working. You got to unmute. Did you mute? Didn't they start this technology in the 1920s, like at the World's Fair or something like that?
Yeah, we were just talking about the Luddites, and maybe they were right.
Yeah, you never see them going, hey, does your axe not work today? Did you plug your axe in?
Your spring is working fine. That's what we should have done. We should have gotten a Dixie cup and string and stringed it all the way out to wherever it is you are.
Yeah. Progresso soup can.
Oh, dear Lord, frozen.
Yeah, his internet's a little sluggish there.
Yeah, I think he's on his phone right now.
Don't we wish they would just die?
Well, some more information. Although the origin of the name Luddites is uncertain, a popular theory is that the movement was named after Ned Ludd, a youth who allegedly smashed 2 stocking frames in 1779, and whose name had become emblematic of machine destroyers. The name evolved into the imaginary General Ludd or King Ludd, a figure who, like Robin Hood, was reputed to live in Sherwood Forest. All Luddites, all the time. Oh, dear Lord.
He's really frozen. He didn't drop out.
I mean, the connection hasn't dropped or anything. That is weird. Shall I go on about the Luddites?
Probably very slow outbound bandwidth and
might be
reasonable inbound.
Background. The movement can be seen as part of a rising tide of English working-class discontent in the early 19th century. An agricultural variant of Luddism, centering on the breaking of threshing machines, occurred during the widespread swing riots of 1830 in southern and eastern England. The Luddites' goal was to gain a better bargaining position with their employers. They were not afraid of technology per se, but were labor strategists. Oh, let's see what we got here.
Oh, he's beside himself.
Indeed he was. Indeed he is. Let me eject the old trace. And if you have an old trace, I suggest you eject him. Well, maybe not. We're all getting older. Damn if over the last year I didn't get a year older. Figure that one out.
That's funny.
This town needs an enema.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we are definitely having some connection issues. So I think Trace just got a message from him saying that perhaps maybe we should try this another time, and that might not be a bad idea, sadly. Let's see what we got here, because he did say that this convention he's got to be at opens in about 30 minutes. So I think that might be a good idea. So what we'll do is, sorry to get everybody's hopes up on this, but hey, you know, if you're listening to our show or watching it, you should know that technical problems are generally the norm, and even if the problems aren't on our side, you know, some sort of our magic happens on the other end, and the people that normally have good connections just suddenly don't get them. If I believed in, well, let me, how to say this? There are some imps in the system. Let's just put it that way. We have this negative magnetic aura, so to speak. Oh, wow, he's moving. Oh,
are you guys still there? Are you in there?
Yeah. Hello. Oh gosh, and he's frozen again.
Man, just really slow bandwidth.
Oh dear Lord.
That is the biggest problem with this stuff. You know, trying to squeeze all this stuff down a little bitty pipe, and that's.
Well, you know, there's this friend of the show, Mike Bowler, who's host of the Skeptic's Guide to Conspiracy. He does what's the podcast he does? Irreverent Skeptics, and what happens is that he's almost always in Detroit for some god unknown reason, and he's always having bandwidth problems. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Bandwidth is the enemy.
Bandwidth is more like an enema these days. Okay. Oh, alrighty. Okay, well, maybe we can salvage the last 25 minutes here. And if you don't mind, because of the issues, maybe have you back on as a guest sometime in the near future.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, I blame Florida.
Florida?
That's where I am.
Aha. Well, you know what? It's easy to blame Florida for a vast myriad of things, so I think let's go with that.
Yeah, I don't know why it's worked on my phone. It must be that there you go again, connection. Hi, you're gone. I don't see you now.
Oh dear.
Let's try doing this.
Yeah, it's very low bandwidth, and that makes this very difficult.
Yeah. I think we should probably reschedule. We should probably reschedule this because this.
Yeah.
This
Sorry,
is
guys.
Oh, no.
Hey, not a problem. And by the way, I need to apologize to you, to you for something. A lot of times when I'm like texting someone or messaging on Facebook or whatever, I do LOL after a lot of things that I post up there because, quite frankly, I have a hard time determining people's attitudes or emotions through text, and so I just make sure that everyone knows that was funny. So apologies for about that. Oh boy, Frozen. Oh dear Lord, I hope my daughters aren't here and they heard me say that. No, good, they're not here. At least my youngest daughter, she absolutely loves the hell out of that movie. So, shall we go on about the Luddites?
Oh, Mom. That's okay. Things break. He keeps trying. Kudos.
Yeah, nothing if not persistent.
I will give him kujos for continuing to try.
Hello.
Oh,
he refused to give up. That's awesome.
I'll tell you what, this computer's not right.
That is.
I don't know what you were saying, but I'm sure it was good.
Well, don't be so sure of that. We can see you and we can hear you.
Yeah.
Tommy? Oh, gosh, he's gone again.
There you are. You're back. You're gone. You're back. You're gone.
Yeah.
All right. I apologize.
Okay.
We'll have to do this another
Yeah,
time.
we'll definitely reschedule this, but you know what? We'll make lemonade out of these lemons, so to speak.
We got a lot of lemonade.
Yeah.
You know what they say? If life hands you lemons, hey, free lemons.
Right.
All right. Well, so no sense getting into anything real deep at this point. Oh gosh, did you freeze again? Oh. Dear McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Right on. Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's logged in twice at the same time. This thing is
so.
so.
I'm scared that if I eject him, that he won't be able to get back in because I did that to Lek one time because he was having trouble with his side of the conversation and he couldn't get back in.
Yeah, you did it to me. You kicked me out. I couldn't.
That's right. It was you. That was you. It wasn't Lek. I always get you two confused because you look so much alike. I mean, you're both redheads, right? Yeah, well, maybe if you smear lipstick or food coloring or ketchup.
I spend too much time in the sun.
Oh, but he was here. Trace was here. So
we weren't lying.
We weren't lying. And he is one of my Facebook friends. So I'm not lying there either.
Oh my.
And poof. So alrighty.
This technology.
Imagine that. Okay, he's messaging me on Facebook. Imagine that, a disorganized and amateurish podcast. He's totally my fault. No, not your fault. Not your fault. It's just one of those things. You just can't trust hotel Wi-Fi and there it is. But yeah, we will reschedule this.
Hotel Wi-Fi and even your 4G, man, it comes and goes. You got. Was it General Motors now is putting the mobile 4G in some of their new models, and I mean it's cool, it's promising as long as these networks can hold up. I think it's great because if you have enough, data, you can do streaming web and podcasts and all kinds of stuff, right there in your car, which is one of the things that holds this, internet quote radio technology, back. Is it not portable? I can't take it to the beach. I can't drive around with it. So I think it's great, but it has to work.
Exactly. He's saying on here, we'll try again when I can get my crappy tech to work. I am an idiot, and Trace, look at it this way. We're doing this podcast thing here, and we're not making any money. You've been in TV shows, movies, you've written books. If anyone's the idiot here, it's probably me. Hey, no worries, Trace. We'll get you back on. As with all of our guests, you have an open invitation to be on the show, except for when we're not doing a show. And in that case, it would be extremely hard to get on the show. So, where to go from here?
So I watch Perry Mason in the evening often, and Leonard Nimoy was on the show.
Oh, that's right. Nimoy died.
He was the bad guy on that particular episode.
Really?
Yeah.
You never think of him being a bad guy in anything. Everyone knows him as Mr. Spock, or the guy who sings the song about Bilbo Baggins.
That's right. He was.
You remember the 1978 remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers? One of the absolute best sci-fi / horror remakes ever. And he played a psychiatrist in that movie. And let's put it this way. I mean, everybody thinks of him as Spock, but everything Leonard Nimoy does is brilliant. I mean, he's good in everything.
Indeed.
And you remember the TV show he did, In Search of, in the 70s?
Yeah. I do.
I used to watch that show religiously. Now, I understand now that a lot of it was woo and anti-science, but it was freaking entertaining. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Leonard Nimoy actually came out at one point and said that he didn't believe most of the stuff that he was talking about on the show anyway.
Hey, you're hired to do a show, you do it, I guess. I don't know.
I remember, think of that, I remember something Michael Caine said. Michael Caine said when asked if he ever saw the movie Jaws: The Revenge, and he said, "No, but I saw the house it built." You gotta love people like that. Leonard Nimoy, class act. Sad to see it go, but to everything there is a season. Turn, if I might quote the book of Ecclesiastes. What, you think I was quoting a song?
Oh my goodness.
This is a very memorable show, at least to me. But hey, it's really cool, though. The coolest thing, even though we didn't really get to talk to Trace that much, him and everything about Mystery Science Theater and Cinematic Titanic was just one of the biggest things ever to me. And I put Mystery Science Theater 3000 as probably my number 2 or number 3 television show. Number 1, of course, is Monty Python's Flying Circus. And I would put Mystery Science Theater 3000 just up there, probably just a tinge below that. Mystery Science Theater 3000, just a tinge below Monty Python's Flying Circus, and just a tinge above WKRP in Cincinnati. And anybody who's ever worked in radio, or maybe even done podcasting, can attest to the fact that WKRP in Cincinnati is a documentary.
Oh, yeah.
We all worked with Les Nessman. We all worked with a Herb Tarlick and a Johnny Fever and an Andy Travis, and sometimes they were all wrapped up into one person.
Well, often, yeah, and ratings battles and the little station that could, and all this kind of craziness.
Oh, by the way,
it is exactly what happened.
By the way, booger.
Enjoy that while you can before the FCC gets their hands on your internet. I see some of this discussion, people going, "Oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen." Of course it's going to happen. That's what government always does and always has. Of course.
And it's not going to be something that happens in one fell swoop, though.
No.
I mean, but it's always incremental because people accept stuff incrementally. I mean, people, and really this whole net neutrality thing. It's just Netflix basically just wants to get their service cheaper. That's the whole reason why we have this discussion. There are some things I actually agree with on net neutrality, like the throttling of data. But it sounds good, but I don't know what the hidden consequences of that sort of thing is going to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people have pointed out competition can thwart that. If they choose to throttle my data such that it doesn't function very well for the things that I do want, then I can buy from somebody else. The problem there is regulation keeps competition out of the system.
Mm-hmm. And we really don't have much in the way of competition. I mean, right now where I live, the only internet I can really get is my Comcast cable internet.
Yeah,
I might be able to get to the AT&T Uverse internet, but I'm never giving AT&T another dime of my money because they are notorious, in my case, for selling a service that doesn't exist, or conveniently double charging us, and then when we refuse to pay the double charge, sending it to collections.
Right.
They're still trying to collect from us for a double charge that they did to us back about 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, I have the same thing. There's only a couple of companies I can choose from. I have basically 2, plus some satellite stuff. And even though there are some others that I could buy from, they lease the circuit from one of the big ones, so it doesn't matter. And someone might be listening to, well, where I live, we have Charter. Not for long when Comcast buys that. It's just it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and so you have only a couple of companies to choose from. So if one of them does something nefarious, too bad. You have no recourse.
And here's the thing: is we do not know what was in the FCC ruling at this point. We just know that they ruled on it. It was one of those, well, we have to pass it to see what's in it type deals. Now, this isn't an act of Congress, and it's still going to be challenged. But honestly, I don't trust the Republicans that are challenging it any more than the Democrats that were pushing it.
Of course not.
And
I see
comments. It's going to be weeks before we know exactly what's in this document.
Yeah, I see these comments on the web. Things like, oh, so now they have this new thing, and so the ISPs that haven't censored anything for 20 years are going to start doing it. No, not the ISPs. The FCC will start regulating it. The power, it's not the power company that imposes these, the taxes upon you. It's not, the phone company doesn't charge you, the tax because they want to or they like it. The government does that.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to make excuses that don't fit.
And classifying it as a utility makes it easier for them to tax the whole damn thing.
Right.
Right now, as of the 1st of February, Amazon, if you live in Illinois, is starting to charge taxes on everything that you buy from them.
Right. That was inevitable.
It was definitely inevitable, thanks to our Senator Dick Durbin, or as I sometimes call him, Dick, a rose by any other name, Durbin.
Yes.
He was pushing this Main Street Fairness Act. Well, if you really want to be fair to Main Street, then take off the regulations on them.
Yeah, leave them alone.
Main Street, people complain about the Walmarts and whatever, and like, oh, they're killing Main Street. Well, you know what? Main Street has something that the internet can't touch. It has something that the big box stores like Walmart, Target can't touch. And that is, your little mom and pop stores have that personal service. Your little mom and pop stores might be friends of the family. They have real connections to the community, and your internet and your big box providers don't have that.
Yeah, and the thing is, they could address some of these concerns in net neutrality with a simple one-page law. We have all kinds of regulations over all sorts of things. Groceries are not regulated as a utility, but if the Congress says you have to put this ingredient list on there and you can't put such and such ingredient in it, well, then that's what it is. You can't do it. So, if you just pass a law that says you cannot throttle your speeds to favor content, period, one page, vote on it, pass it, done, problem solved. Why does it have to be regulated as a utility in order to enable that? It doesn't.
Sorry, I'm just texting.
We don't know
texting
when.
Real quick.
There you go. We don't know when and to what level and how they're going to go about doing it and all that sort of thing, or how severe it will be. I guarantee you, like everything else through all of American history, if you give the government some power to do something, they will exercise it. It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
You give them the power to regulate internet, just like they regulate other utilities, the way they regulate broadcasting, if you want to think about the FCC in particular. And how are they allowed to regulate broadcast content? Because they can. It's that simple. If you give them the power, they will take it.
I'm just messaging Trace here. He's like, well, we will try again when I get my crappy tech to work. I am an idiot. Sorry, sorry, sorry. And I'm like, don't worry about that. We have problems with this all the time.
Yeah.
And I also responded, that having been said, next time we do this, let's get together the Friday before to make sure all of our crows are in a row.
Ah.
Crow's the character he voiced on.
Nice. Yeah, and it's more internet than it is his tech.
It's the internet. It's
he's
more
not doing anything wrong.
I mean, we have some connection issues. Be honest, we are not familiar so much with the Mac side of things, and so that's you got to learn the language, and that's all there is to it. I mean, I won't understand anybody in Germany unless I learn their language, and there'll be problems. I'm surprised we haven't gotten in any more wars with Germany over the language differences. Yeah, I'm of German descent. Can you tell? Oh, you wouldn't believe how many conspiracy theorists play that card on me.
Yeah,
you would not believe. It hasn't happened as much recently, though. But,
right. Yeah, and it's not, and look, this isn't, it's not fear-mongering or conspiracy stuff. It's history. If you give the government some power, they will take it. Exactly how much and exactly when and exactly what they do, don't know. I can't say that your internet's going to get doubly expensive next month. I don't know, but it's certainly not going to get less expensive.
People complain, about do-nothing Congress. Well, they're not doing anything. They're not accomplishing anything.
Great.
Good.
Great.
Good. I mean, the longer we can keep them stalemated, the less damage they can do.
Yeah.
You take the sledgehammer away from somebody, and it's going to be harder to knock the house down.
Yeah. Speaking of taking the hammer away from somebody, there's a thing. I got to find it. See if I can find the thing.
You realize we only got about 5 minutes left.
Wasted a lot of time and did nothing.
Well, I mean, we learned a little bit about the Luddites.
Yes, we did.
And we did actually get to talk to Trace for, a few minutes. I didn't get to ask all the questions I wanted, but we did get to talk to him. So, hey, that's cool. I mean, we've had interviews with different people, on the show, and he's the biggest person we've ever talked to, as far as what celebrity-wise goes, and in just a little bit we talked to him, he just seems like just a real regular type guy.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah, even in the little bit of time we had with him, in a little bit of time he could see us and we can hear us. He was a pretty awesome cat. He was an awesome cat, man, and I mean that. That is my bad Sammy Davis impersonation.
Yeah, there's a list, and I don't know how true the list is, and because I've seen it a couple times with different names of airlines, so I wonder how accurate the list is. But supposedly, I've seen it for Qantas, and I've seen it for FedEx. So, the airplanes have, when it comes back in, there's some maintenance. They write up a report for it, a gripe sheet that tells the engineers and repair staff, hey, there's something wrong with the airplane, fix it. So there's a list of all kinds of things like that, and it's pretty good stuff. One of them was about the hammer, which made me think of that. That there's something in the plane sounds like a midget banging on something with a hammer, and the response from the engineer was, took the hammer away from the midget. That's how they fixed it. There's a whole list of these things, though. They're great.
Oh, man. I used to work in technical support.
Left inside main tire almost needs replacement, and the engineers reply back on the work order or whatever, almost replaced the inside tire.
I used to work in technical support, and I didn't have very many memorable calls, but you hear the weird technical support stories. But I supported a faxing software, and I also supported a training software for our products. And I was doing support for the training software. And this one woman calls up and says, I can't hear anything. And I put the CD in and start the training. And I walk her through to the typical troubleshooting steps, because this actually was a known issue where some of the sound files weren't getting copied over or whatever. And, I connected to her system through PC Anywhere. And back in the old dial-up days. And she was, and I'm like looking, and everything looks right. And I'm like, okay, well, I've seen, stuff like this before. And I'm like, okay, go into your control panel, go into the, the sound settings. Are those turned up to at least 50%? And she went, yeah, they are. I'm like, okay. Is the volume turned up on your speakers? Oh, you need speakers for this? And I'm like, oh, God.
Right on, man. I get it. When I call tech support with some internet, service problem or something, I get it when they go through the standard. Well, is your computer turned on? Is your electricity on? Did you reboot? I get that, because that's a lot of the calls. I understand that, and I look. First thing I gotta do, just send this up, because I do this for a living. This is more. I just don't even go there.
And you know what? We've only got about a minute and a half left.
I understand those questions. I get that.
Oh, heck yeah. So I guess we're going to just close it out here. Once again, thanks to everyone for joining. Apologize for the technical situations, but we'll see if we can't get Trace back in next week. I think he said he's not going to be on the road next week, so we'll see about next week. And but he was on the show. We weren't lying. He was on the show. So, and I, of course, didn't read any of the contact information or anything because I was so busy with it. But
nobody wants to contact us.
Yeah. So hey, at least they can't send hate mail to us now. But once again, from Morris, Illinois, this is Jim Goebel.
Somewhere in Illinois, it's Eric Ferguson.
And we will get back with you all next week. We'll try to have Trace back on next week so we can actually do a little more talking. But I'm glad I saved all the questions that I had. I did actually something smart for once. I can't believe the amount of research I did for this episode. I mean, I never research anything. Which makes a lot of sense. So, anyway, we'll see you all next week. And remember, if a problem comes along, you must whip it. See y'all later.
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are #1. We just grabbed every key demographic.
Super duper, gang. Yeah! Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy. Oh. Ed, that is good news.